What's going on, gamers and collectors? DGC back with another video, and we're doing a pickups video. So let's check some of these games out here real quick. I got to go over something. I got a big lot. I don't typically buy game lots, but what was in this lot, it was in the 3 digits, but not like a high 3 digits. So what was in it? It was a well, let's go ahead and start it off with this CIB Genesis 6-button arcade stick. Really pretty decent shape. It just needed a little bit of magic eraser on there. The box is in decent shape. If anybody wants just the box and it has all the guts inside of it, definitely let me know. We can work out some kind of simple trade. I don't really want a lot for this. However, I don't want this box, but I don't want to just throw it away because it's part of gaming history. So any Sega collectors out there that want this, definitely let me know. Alright, next up, what do we got? There was a slim PS2 memory card controller. Then there was a Genesis with Mortal Kombat, a 3-button controller, power cord, an RF cable. And then there was a Dreamcast, which is the main thing that I wanted out of this. I don't need the console, but I need the games. I'm going for a full set. I'm halfway on the games. I needed 8 or 9 of them, I think, out of the lot that the guy had. It was a big-ass lot. And then more importantly, there was 3 accessories that I absolutely had to have because I've been dying to have them. So let's jump into the games first. Alright. Now, right off the bat here, this isn't technically a game, but it enhances the games. This is the GameShark CDX video game enhancer. Let's see here. These two I actually got from a store. Mainly Gaming really is just absolutely in love with Legacy of Kain, and he always talks about it, so I wanted to get it. Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. This is an absolutely mint copy. Cannot wait to jump in and play that. And then we got Silent Scope. Mint copy again as well. Alright, so these games right here were in the lot. So we got Tee-Off, decent shape, NFL QB Club 2001. So those were the lame games in that I needed. Then we got Dino Crisis here. So this is 20 to 40 bucks, I think. This is Metropolish Street Racer? Yeah, I guess. I don't know. MSR is what it is. This is a series that actually, I believe this is the one that actually turned into Project Gotham Racing, you know, as it evolved. Sega Bass Fishing 2, not super expensive, but I think this is a little bit more uncommon because that was a later lifespan title. And here's the ones that were, well, we'll go to those last. Then we got Mortal Kombat Gold, and then all 3 Resident Evils here. We got RE2, Code Veronica, and then RE3 Nemesis, all mint. Discs, everything, good condition. Now for the juicy part of things that I wanted. Alright, we have a secondary fishing rod. This is not the official one. I have the official one complete box, but this is nice to have. Then we got 2 extension cables. Really nice to have. Always wanted those. And 2 light guns, bitches. And then it actually also came with 2 official white VMUs, which are just going to remain in here, just, I don't know, I guess to make them look better. I cleaned these up, really nice shape, both of them work. And the piece of resistance that I really just absolutely had to have, I've been wanting one of these for, I guess basically 2002, 2003, whenever I got my original Dreamcast. I remember seeing this inside the instruction booklet for DOA 2 or Soul Calibur, one of them. And so these are actually Sanwa buttons in here, and this is a 8-way click, but it's a square gate in here. And I would go ahead and assume that this is probably a Sanwa stick, but this is like actual arcade hardware in here. 6-button. Again, actually, you know what? Oh no, this is my VMU, but I put that in there, so that's just going to be for fighting games. Man. I want to get one more of these, I really do, to have 2 of them for multiplayer, but 1 is definitely good enough. These go for 80 bucks alone, those guns go for 30 bucks a piece. The fishing rod, I didn't really need it, but I'm going to keep it. It goes for, I don't know, about 20 bucks. So all of that alone was worth what I paid, just in that, and that's all the stuff that I wanted there. What else we got here? There was also one other thing that I did keep, but it's already plugged into the top of my Genesis. There was a complete in-box, and I mean complete in-box, 32X. However, I already gave the box and all the guts to my buddy Nick. He's a way bigger Sega guy than I am, and so I gave him all the guts to that, but I did keep the 32X. He already has one, so he didn't need it. I just felt like the box was in a better home with him. He actually did greenlight the okay to do a game room tour of his game room, obviously, because I said game room. So I'm really excited to do that at some point. It'll happen eventually. I'm not going to put a date on it, but it's going to happen eventually. He's a huge Sega guy. He has basically any good Genesis game you can think of he's got. And I'm not talking about Mushas and the expensive shit, but like all the good shits, the Hyperstone heists, all the Streets of Rage, Bloodline. He's got it all. And it's just a really nice collection. It's really tastefully done. It's all retro. The most current thing he has is a Wii, is the newest system that he has. And then even then, he only has that to play virtual rare games like Rondo of Blood and then a couple other things like that. I'm very excited to show that off. He's also into fighting games for the, on the PC and stuff, so he has a lot of arcade sticks for the PC and stuff. Really fantastic collection. Everything he has is hooked up with HD Retrovision cables on a nice Sony Trinitron, and it's the deluxe Mac Daddy. It's the 36-inch with all the nice bells and whistles. He was even lucky enough to find it with the remote and stuff, so I'm very excited to do that video if you can't tell. And he's become quite a good friend of mine over the last little bit of time. Let's see here. Oh, here it is. So, then we got something here from our good buddy MC Mur. We got Final Fantasy II and a strategy guide for Super Metroid. This was a nice trade that we did. He showed me the lot when he got this, so I worked out a trade with him on that, and very happy to have had that or gotten that. Can't wait to replay Metroid, Super Metroid. I'm going to do that next summer. I know it's a ways away, but I'm going to try to 100% it with the guide. And then Virtua Bros sent me Dynamite to Cop, so that was I've really been loving this. Fantastic game, absolute must-have on the system there. Now there were 2 titles that also came in that big lot. We got Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate that I am keeping, and then we got Mortal Kombat 2 for the 32X. So this was the only way I was able to test the 32X because this is the only game I have. 32X is a piece of shit, but also a nice dessert at the same time. This game looks so sexual on the Trinitron that I have with just composite cables, so I can't wait to get my HD Retrovision component cables for the 32X. So there's all that. Now we've got, let's see here, we got New Super Mario Bros. This is complete. I got this at work from a co-worker for $5. I was like, hell yeah. Didn't have that. I had it a long time ago, but I sold it. But for $5, couldn't pass that up. Now we got some Switch stuff here. You already saw what that was. Mega Man 11 Amiibo Edition. I'm going for a full Amiibo set, so I had to get this. Pre-ordered it at the last second. Still ended up getting a copy, so very grateful for that. I haven't gotten very far in this game because I suck at Mega Man games, but still very grateful to have it. I love them, but I do suck at them. Alright, then we got 5 Nintendo Switch games here. 3 of which I got very easily, 2 of which are not. You're pretty much never going to get them. This one is still going to be difficult. Actually, all 5 of these are going to be difficult to get. Code of Princess EX by Nicalis. This is it is literally a spiritual successor to Guardian Heroes for the Saturn. Very great game, beautiful art style. This is available on the 3DS as well. Very, very early on title for the 3DS from what I've been told. Very hard to find. Much like this is going to be very hard to find, so I knew I had to nab it up. Great game. I've spent probably about 2 or 3 hours into this, and I'm really enjoying it. Now, here's a game that I don't recommend, but I'm pretty confident this is going to be rare in the future. This is Snowmoto Racing Freedom. This is a snowmobile game. Beautiful, pretty good-looking game. The controls are not terrible, but not great. The frame rate is the issue with the game. The game just runs really choppy, and it's not very good. Then we got one here that I was very excited to find out that it even had a physical, let alone that it was out. Aquamoto, which is basically Wave Race, same game, or basically the same game, but this one actually isn't very choppy like the snow one is. Again, I think this is going to be pretty uncommon. I believe this is also available on the PS4, however I think the Snowmobile is just the Switch. Either way, both those games are... I didn't even know they came out in GameStop, so I had to buy mine on eBay for a couple dollars more than they launched at. And then we got 2 limited run games here. We got Oceanhorn Monsters of Uncharted Seas. This is basically an old school top-down Zelda game. Again, I'm a few hours into this, really enjoying it. Love the art style for this. So when this came out originally as an indie game, it was a Xbox One and PC exclusive, and then eventually found its way to all of the rest of the consoles. And yeah, really cool game, beautiful art style, really harkens to old school Zeldas. Then we got Slime Sand Super Slime Edition. This is a really cool action platformer, 2D, slow down time. Then you can like press this one button to turn white or green and go through walls, and it's kind of its own thing. It's pretty cool though. So it's like a puzzle game, action puzzle platformer game type thing. Pretty cool though. Definitely. I was kind of hesitant on grabbing this one, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a shot, and turns out I actually enjoy it. Pretty cool game. So that's some Switch stuff here. Now here's one. This is going to be a funny story. Well, not really funny for me, but kind of a terrible story actually. Far Cry 5, Xbox. Got this to play on my X, and picked it up. It was on sale for $25.99 at Best Buy, I think, or maybe it was 20. Either way, I ended up paying like 16 to 18 bucks for it at Best Buy, new, with the Gamer Club unlocked, and you know, I waited for it because I knew I wanted it, but I didn't want to pay 60 bucks for it. But put it into my Xbox. It was right at the beginning of September, and sure enough, didn't work. Popped it out. I was like, maybe this Blu-ray's messed up. Popped in Recore, and then sure enough, that didn't read either. So I was like, not likely, but maybe this one's messed up too. So I put in another game, and sure enough, that didn't read. So long story short, had to send my Xbox One X in. Hasn't even been a full year since I got it. The Blu-ray drive failed in it. Pretty pissed about that. $500 new console that has been hooked up to my TV and never been unhooked. Sent it. They fixed it. Then one guy claimed on customer service that the HDMI port was messed up. Then it got shipping label created, then shipped to FedEx, or like driven, or maybe they picked it up, I don't know. And then FedEx didn't know where it was, and Microsoft didn't know where it was. 2 or 3 weeks went by with nobody knowing where it was, and long story short, I did end up getting it back, but it literally took a month, and then I had to bitch about paying for Live and Game Pass in that time period, and yeah. But so finally able to play this, and it's actually really good. It's pretty beautiful on the Xbox One X. Unfortunately, there's no 1080p 60 frames mode, which I wish there was, kind of like Forza Horizon 4, which leads me into a digital pickup that I got via Game Pass. I'm loving Game Pass. Game Pass is absolutely worth the $10 a month if you're on a budget, or if you're just kind of done with this whole current generation because none of these games are actually on the disc, so they're really not worth collecting. Go Game Pass. There's at least 30 really solid games from indie, OG Xbox 360 or Xbox One games, a mix of first party, third party, you know, indie games. You know, you got your Darksiders, you got your dirt rally games, you got your you know, old school Samurai Showdowns, you got your there's some Mega Mans in there, there's some, you know, you got your Banjos and your Viva Pinatas, your Gears, your Halos. There's just such a great mix of shit on the Game Pass, and for $10 a month, like, personally, I think it's a great deal. It really is. I don't think you can actually go wrong with that. What are we at here? 12 minutes? Nope. 14 minutes on the dot. This is going to be a long video like it always is, because this is 2 or 3 months worth of pickups, so let's keep going. Nice little healthy stack of Wii U games here. This officially puts me down to 11 Wii U games. We got Wipeout 3, Angry Birds Star Wars Trilogy, Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, an expensive game here, Wii Sports Club. This was $40, got it with 20% off on a discount day, buy 2 get 1. So yeah, I ended up paying like $30 for this. It's CIB as Wii U games get, where it's got this, you know, bullshit Nintendo thing. This didn't come with a manual. Any game after 2013 for Wii U did not come with a manual. So basically 1 year's worth of manuals for the Wii U. Alright, almost done here, guys. Some Wii games. Alex, you hate the Wii. Well, I don't really hate it, even though I've said that I hate it a ton, but it's just kind of a joke console to me. It has some good games on it, but I just really hate motion controls. They just, they only work for VR in my opinion. For VR they make sense. For not VR, it's just, I don't know, it just doesn't do it for me. But so here's two good games that I've always wanted. We got Resident Evil: The Dark Side Chronicles, and then Resident Evil: The Umbrella Chronicles. CIB, you know me. If anybody has any zappers, let me know, because GameStop does not take them in or sell them anymore. And frankly, I don't really want to spend a ton of money on them. So if you ever come by a zapper at a yard sale for like less than $1 or something, I'll pay for the shipping. Just grab that up for me, or whatever. If you have a ton of them, let me know, because I never see them anymore. I have like a ghetto third-party zapper, but I want two real ones to be able to use the Wii like it was intended. Then we got 3 Sega games here for the Wii. We got Sonic and the Black Knight. Pretty excited to try that. I've heard decent things about it. Samba de Amigo. I don't know if that's a remake of the Dreamcast one or a sequel. I'm not entirely sure. And this is definitely a sequel to the original game. This is Knight's Journey of Dreams. And then this is not Sega. This is Centipede Infestation. So for the Wii, I generally only try to pick up games that look good to me that I want to keep in my collection. So for whatever reason, this game really looked appealing to me, and apparently this kind of has like a cult following of people that enjoy it. So apparently it's a decent game. So it was $1.99. So fuck it. With the Elite plan, it was like, I don't know, $1.40 with tax or whatever. Now here is somewhat of a more rare game for the Wii. This is Ju-On, The Grudge Haunted House Simulator. So I had thought that this was supposed to be some kind of spiritual successor to Ku-On for the PS2. However, it is not. This is actually a The Grudge movie tie-in game type thing where you essentially, I watched a couple reviews on it, you essentially go to different locales. One's like a hospital, one's a mansion, and a couple different places, and the little creepy girl comes out here. I actually don't hate or like scary games. However, I'm not super into them. However, one of my buddies is, and I actually kind of just really owe him something, so I'm going to be shipping this out to him. He pretty much super loves horror games. That's all he loves, really, and I'm going to be shipping that out to him. That's why I got that. But it's pretty rare, so I'm glad to have found a nice complete box copy for my buddy. Alright, so now, as Segalacious always says, Alex, you're such a huge PlayStation fanboy. Now we're jumping into all the PS4 stuff here, except for there's one Vita title on top here. Alex, you never pick up Vita stuff. That's because I only do it on special occasions. This is something that I absolutely was pissed off that they didn't have physically. Oh man, my hair is just pissing me off right now. Physically, when it came out. It was an indie title, but I really felt as if it was a great experience for the Vita that needed a physical. Severed Limited Edition. This is open. I just like to keep them in the little things that they ship them in. I have played this a little bit. Really cool game. You can also get this on the Switch now. I think it might even be on the PC and even on the PS4, I believe. Really fantastic game. I absolutely had to have this for the Vita. I really only go for the exclusives for the Vita. Otherwise, all the multi-plat shit, like I would way rather have that on a home console, because it's just better on a home console than it is on a tiny ass little handheld. I do love the Vita though, so don't take that as me saying I don't. But to me, the Vita is really strongest with its exclusives, which this was an exclusive, and it rest assured, this plays the best on the Vita because it uses the rear touchpad, the touchscreen, it uses everything. Fantastic game, really unique art style, great story, good ambiance and music, and just really fantastic game. Very grateful to have added that to the collection. Then we got two other big box games here. These are PS4 ones. This is Leap of Fate Limited Edition. So this, so this is like a top-down sort of. I think they call these roguelike now. I think that's a new term in gaming. I have not played that yet, or unfortunately this one either, because again, like always, I'm just buying too much shit. Devious Dungeon Limited Edition. This one is kind of like a side-scrolling action platformer type thing, but 8-bit style, really good-looking graphics. The reason I typically get these games is to stream. However, most of you might have noticed I never really stream that much, and that's kind of my fault. I don't know, I usually get home from work and I'm either editing a video or recording or just straight up want to play a game, and I'm been very lazy on content for the channel and being more active with the channel. So I'm definitely going to try to hold myself to a better standard of streaming at least once a week. I'm going to try to do that, so definitely try to motivate me and keep me doing that, because I want to be more active with the community and hanging out with my subs and, you know, just getting to know you guys. But let's keep jumping into these titles here. Oh shit, I completely forgot about the... Well, I'll show these at the end. These are for 360. 2 exclusives. Alright, so you guys already probably could have assumed that I bought Spider-Man. I did. Beat it. I think I did about 60% of the game. I was going to go for all the backpacks and all the nonsense, and I started to, and... Yeah, I did. Every open world game does that shit now, and it's just boring. I just wanted to play for the story. Is the story great? No. Is it okay? It's good. It's better than okay. I wish I hadn't have paid $48 with the GCU for this. Yeah, honestly, if you're on the fence about this, just wait until it's on sale. It's nothing earth-shattering. Like, you already know the story to this. It's the Sinister Six being formed and created, and Peter Parker doing his thing. You don't start out as Peter. You're already Spider-Man. It's really good, and the swinging is good, and the graphics are fantastic on the Pro, and the fighting mechanics. I don't know if you guys watch The Amazing Lucas, but a really good channel. He's a huge channel. He doesn't know who the fuck I am, but really great channel. You know, he did a review on this, and he was talking about essentially how, like, basically he'll just do a punch, punch, kick, or kick, kick, punch, and that's pretty much all he does over and over again. Despite upgrading your guys, that's basically all he does over and over again. So, you know, it's just kind of... They could have done a little bit better with that, and I do agree with him in his review. He had stated that, and the story was good, but I mean, again, like, it was nothing out of the ordinary. There was no spoilers, but there was a few times where I was like, oh my god, is that... Does he know? Is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? But it didn't happen very often. And then there's a few times where you play as Miles, and then there is a bit of an interesting ending that I don't recall ever happening in Spider-Man. And then you play as Mary Jane a few times. Those kind of felt like filler to me to make the game longer, and I already felt like the game was kind of short. So without the Mary Jane and Miles parts, the game definitely would have been short. Good game, but definitely I would say pick it up at $30. That's what I would say. Nier Automata, I already owned this at one point. However, I mailed this to Rocker Gaming. I don't think he ever actually ended up playing it, but I bought another copy. It was on sale at Best Buy for $40. GCU got it down to like $30, plus I had coupon codes. And I actually bought Spider-Man in this and a couple of these games at the same time, and coupon codes and all that nonsense. But there's Nier Automata. Now, let's see here. Yeah, we'll keep going here. This is one of my favorite PS4 games that I'm holding in my hands. So throughout this summer I played Yakuza 0, and then I played Kiwami 1, leading up to Kiwami 2. I played them back to back to back, didn't play really anything in between them. If you haven't played the Yakuza series, let me just sit you down and tell you something. You gotta play Yakuza. These games are so over the top, obnoxious, balls to the walls, just intense, always full on action, just great games. I love the Yakuza games. They're it really gives you a great appreciation for Japanese culture and humor, and or at least it did for me. And you know, obviously it takes the Yakuza name, but in Japan these are called Ryoga Goto or something like that. They're not even called Yakuza in Japan. It's obviously based on the Yakuza. However, if you play the story, no spoilers, but you start out in the Yakuza, but again, you'll figure it out. I cannot encourage this enough to play these games. There's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All of them will be available on the PS4 by next year, I believe, is when all 7 of them will be available on one console, which is fucking insane. This uses the Dragon engine. It's, in my opinion, it looks better than Yakuza 6, which uses the Dragon engine as well. However, this was made after Yakuza 6. This is a remake of the PS2 one with the new engine. So they really fully utilize that engine with what they learned from 6 in this game. just a bloody beautiful game, and just the story to it is so, it's so over the top and so cheesy and so ridiculous, and the side missions in this game, and just, it's just so good. And Kiryu and they're just so fucking good. I try not to cuss on my channel anymore. I really don't, just in case there's younger people watching, and some people just frankly don't like cussing, but I can't help it. These are just by far some of my favorite games now. They're my favorite games this gen. I will go on record and say that. I think I've loved the 3 of these more than I loved God of War this year. I would still say God of War is my goatee, but I think these are my favorite games this gen, if that makes sense. But it's just so good. Alright, shut up about fucking Yakuza, Alex. Just shut up about it. Alright, let's see here. These are all 7 of these PSVR titles. That's a lot of VR titles. I'm going for the full set of those too. Full North American set. Well, actually, I guess a full physical set is what I'm going for. So this is already a rare game that can be played on non-VR as well. However, obviously it's better in VR. This is Zone of the Enders 2, The Second Runner Mars. This is already pretty rare. I'm going to go ahead and say that. This sold out the day it came out on Best Buy in stores within 250 miles of me, so I quickly ordered it on bestbuy.com to get the GCU discount. Was able to get it, lock it down. So this is unfortunately not actually all on the disc like I assumed it would be, since it's just an upscaled PS2 game. Actually, I guess this is the port of the 360 game, presumably upscaled to 4K and or VR. So there was an update on this, so I'm kind of a little disappointed on that. I kind of just really hoped the whole game was just on the disc. But I assume it probably works off the disc. Then we got Eve Valkyrie here. Still have yet to try this. This is like a spaceship VR game. Then we got The Inpatient. So this is from, who makes this? Supermassive Games. Those are the Until Dawn people and the Until Dawn Rush of Blood. This, and then I think they made Fire Bravo team for the PSVR as well. So they're basically the first-party VR studio for Sony now. They do a really good job. They make really good games. Again, I have not yet played that, unfortunately. This one is called The Persistence. This is a horror game in VR, and have again yet to play this. This takes place in space with like zombie space again, I don't know because I haven't played it yet. Excited to give that a shot though. Paranormal Activity: The Lost Soul. So this is a Best Buy exclusive for anybody out there that doesn't know that. It's VR only though. Again, have not tried this. This is available on the computer VRs as well, but physically it's PS4 VR only at Best Buy. Super cheap, dumb cheap. This is like $10 at Best Buy. I'm not super into horror movies, but I love playing scary games. I'm weird like that, but I'm definitely excited to try this at some point. Now, 2 games that have quickly become my favorite VR games, favorite VR experience, and favorite game. I say experience, and I'll explain why. This is Firewall Zero Hour. This is a Rainbow Six squad-like game, 4-on-4. There's, I think, 7 maps or 8 maps currently. There's no single player. You can play offline with bots to train. This is next level. Next level right here. This is so intense, so fun to play. This is just a badass experience. And this is... I've actually been doing something with the VR that immerses you more. If you have a PSVR or you plan on getting one, I actually stand up and play the game, and I have the aim gun, and like I actually stand there, and I recalibrated the camera up higher, and it really just immerses you in there. You know, you're not actually physically walking, but you're physically standing up and aiming with the gun, and you know you can. So like the game's so with the headset, you can peek corners. Like you have your headset on, you're peeking the corner with the gun, and I can actually like tilt the gun sideways and pop people, and then like come back, and it's so awesome. It's so great. I cannot recommend this one enough if you have a VR, and if you don't, just even for a multiplayer experience alone, this is so good. It really is. Just an absolute blast to play this game. Cannot recommend it enough. There are some issues with the game. Sometimes the aim controller will freak out and it'll point like this, and you can't change it, or Oh, sorry guys, we're going so long that the camera manually shut off. But so the aim controller, sometimes it'll go like this, or sometimes it'll be pointing here or that. So it recommends that you just sit there and shake it. But what I find is if you turn the headset off and quickly turn it back on, it'll recalibrate everything. But back to Firewall, done with that one. Now, one of the cutest, most charming games that I've played in a long time that was not Nintendo in VR. This is available on the computer VR systems as well. Moss. When this came out, it was digital only. I was pissed because I really wanted it. There was no physical, and then they gave us this hideous ass cover with all this shit on it. Whatever, but at least I have a physical copy of it. Most of the game is on the disc, so you can play it from the disc, essentially future-proofing this game. So I'm grateful for that. Really beautiful looking game. Again, like these to me, the games that I would say that make VR really PSVR worth it, and PSVR to me is the best option. And let me explain why. It doesn't have the best pixel count or the best motion tracking or this or that, but you know what it does have? The full backing force of Sony. Whereas the Rift or the Oculus, who's backing them? Oculus and Rift? They don't really make games for it. I'm pretty sure they just make tech demos for it. Whereas Sony has dedicated studios and is hiring dedicated studios to make shit for their platforms that are like exclusive, or like Firewall. Where's Firewall? They straight up just bought this out just so that it would be exclusive to PlayStation, and they don't own this company, or I think they own the rights to this game now. But just an amazing experience. But so Firewall, amazing. Moss, Skyrim, Doom, Farpoint, Fire Team. Was it Bravo Team? Okay. There's a lot of really great games for the Res. So I do plan on doing some kind of VR guide collection kind of thing here in the future. This has gone on very long. I was not intending on even showing this many games. I was intending on splitting these up, but I figured since I don't make a lot of videos very often anymore, some people really love these videos long, some people don't. It is what it is. This is how I wanted to make it. As always, peace out for now, guys. Till next time.
Come here, you mother. This is it, baby.